What's good, YouTube? It's KB with JusDueBoxing back with another video. Before I get into the video, I want to say if it's your first time on the channel, do your boy a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when new content drops. To everybody that's been rocking with the channel, y'all truly appreciate it. Let's get right into it, man. So, I was on IG a little earlier, man, doing, scrolling and, doing a little comment creeping, so to speak, man. I came across an interesting comment made by none other than, a heavyweight contender, Frank Sanchez, who's 20-0, 13 knockouts. He's 6'4" with a 78-inch reach. He's a Cuban fighter. The last time he was in the ring was I think January of this year, and he had a unanimous decision over Christian Hammer in a performance where he pretty much won every round, but it just wasn't impressive. It looked like something was missing from the performance. The fight before that, he fought the undefeated 15-0 Efe Ajagba, and he dropped him and dominated him in a very impressive win, unanimous decision win. But nonetheless, I was doing some comment creeping, like I said, man, and on IG, and I noticed that the Cuban Flash, aka Frank Sanchez, has some interesting choice of words for the former unified heavyweight champion, former unified two-time heavyweight champion, AJ Anthony Joshua. And he had some choice words for him. He said AJ is too slow and mechanical. Can't keep up with fighters who can box like Usyk and me. And I thought that was a very interesting statement that he made, and I consider that shots fired towards AJ, And my question is, I wonder, will AJ respond, and where exactly AJ is going to go after, suffering his third defeat and his second straight loss to now currently unified heavyweight champion, undefeated 20-0 Alexander Usyk. He fought in the rematch this past Saturday, and he lost by split decision. But I will say this right off the bat: big credit to Robert Garcia, and big salute and much respect to Anthony Joshua for the way he approached this fight, for the way he behaved during the fight, for the way he attacked during the fight. I felt like he was much improved from the first fight, and it even left me wondering just how good or how much more he could improve had this been Robert Garcia's second training camp with AJ rather than his first. It would have been very interesting to see, because nonetheless, you were able to see the improvements right off the bat in terms of strategy and the way this guy chose to fight. He definitely went to the body more. And in this fight, it's unlike the first one when Usyk got things off. Joshua wanted his get back, and he went about doing it in an intelligent way. And he was very responsive and reactive to when he was getting hit with punches, in terms of, getting his lick back and making sure, Alexander Usyk felt him in there, unlike the first fight. I think he I don't want to say he straight up physically imposed his will, but I will say from a physical standpoint, I think he made Alexander Usyk work more in this second fight, and he felt AJ more in there in terms of, AJ just being consistent and working in there and picking the right shots. And he landed some really good body shots throughout the fight. And, he like I say, he fought a hell of a fight, but I think he shot his load in about round 8 or 9 going after Usyk when he landed some good shots. And, he looked like he had Usyk on the defensive trying to recover. It looked like he was buzzed a little bit. And nonetheless, he kind of shot his load in that round, which I think led to him being a little gassed for the rest of the fight, and that caused them to lose the championship rounds, in my opinion. 10, 11, and 12 was won by Usyk, and in my honest and humble opinion, that's how Alexander Usyk, won the split decision. I had it scored about 7 rounds to 5 for Usyk. You know what I mean? It was a very close fight, and like I said, big salute to Robert Garcia and Anthony Joshua. I think they make a great team. It's just unfortunate how he responded after all of these things, after a great fight with the quote-unquote meltdown in the ring, and such an emotional tirade that he threw in the ring with throwing Usyk's belts and things like that, being very aggressive towards Lomachenko to an extent, he damn near cursed out a fan at the end of the fight, walking through the tunnel or whatever. It just wasn't a good look. But far as his performance go, it was a great one, and I would like to see him and Frank Sanchez. I would like to see if he'd respond to Frank Sanchez and what he thinks about what Frank had to say. Now, I know he's not, the biggest name out there, but nonetheless, he's coming off a loss. You know what I mean? So he's gonna be looking to get himself back into title contention or back on the winning side of things, and it's going to be very interesting to see where Anthony Joshua goes after suffering his third defeat and his first back-to-back loss in his career. Like, unlike others, I don't think his career is over at all. I think a large part is going to be dependent on how he is mentally and how he's able to mentally and emotionally recover from this loss. Because, like I said, the amount of emotion that this guy displayed after this loss was like something that I truly didn't expect. It caught me off guard, and I think he kind of dampened and put a bad spot on a great performance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, like I said, he performed like a champion. He made the necessary adjustments, and he made Alexander Usyk work. And this fight was more competitive than the first one, and it showed on the scorecards. Like I said, I had a 7-5. Like, Usyk got out of there with a close decision. Anthony Joshua made him work, and I think he needed to understand how great he performed and that he didn't owe nobody an explanation as to why he lost. He didn't have to do any of that. You could have congratulated Usyk and just went about your day. Now, I'm not trying to tell you how to handle your business, but I am saying from the outside looking in, it left people scratching their head, and a lot of the things he was doing was very cringy, like throwing Usyk's belt out the ring, grabbing Usyk's flag, apologizing over and over, but continuing to talk over people. It was just like, it just wasn't a good look, and his emotions was all over the place. But nonetheless, pretty much Frank Sanchez is calling him out in terms of his boxing ability and saying he's too slow and mechanical, and basically saying he's stiff and he can't keep up with fighters who can box like a Usyk and himself. And Frank Sanchez is a Cuban fighter, so he can move very well in there, but that doesn't mean that he'd beat AJ in the fight. And I think this would be an interesting fight if AJ were to take it, but at the same time, I think it would be a very dangerous fight, and I'm not sure if this is the direction that Anthony Joshua wants to go in after suffering his third defeat. He can approach things one or two ways, in my opinion, after suffering his third loss. You know what I mean? He could either be very reluctant and take things easy and fight guys that he's supposed to beat, or he could go right back into them deep waters and fight the top guys. I mean, I think a fight between him and Wilder would do numbers. I think that's a fight that he really need to consider making or trying to make. You know what I'm saying? He already made a ton of money. He already has losses. Like he always said, the greats have losses. So you already have losses. You don't have an O you need to protect. It's not about money. So at this point, I would think that the only motivation for Anthony Joshua moving forward would be legacy. He's making fights and moves about legacy and building himself back up to possibly contend for another title or become a 3-time heavyweight champion. Who knows, man? But that's all I got on it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about the Cuban Flash, Frank Sanchez, calling Anthony Joshua out as far as his boxing ability, saying he's too slow and mechanical and he can't keep up with him. You know what I mean? As always, y'all get in that comment section to let me know if I gave that boy Anthony Joshua and Frank Sanchez their just due, because that's what I do over here at JusDueBoxing. To the next one, I'm out. Peace.